whatever these big decisions are in our lives that people are struggling with, there's a lot of emotion around them. And so we need to actually go into the emotion in the conversation. And the way to do that is to actually ask these discovery questions about, okay, what's going on? And then how does that feel on a daily basis? What's that experience like? We were talking a little bit about emotions, and when we think about any sort of big decision, it's an emotional decision. When we think about whether it's the decision to completely radically change your diet and exercise routines, whether it's the decision to take a new position at a new company, whether it's the decision to ask a partner to marry you or to get a divorce, or whatever these big decisions are in our lives that people are struggling with, there's a lot of emotion around them. And so we need to actually go into the emotion in the conversation. And the way to do that is to actually ask these discovery questions about, okay, what's going on? And then how does that feel on a daily basis? What's that experience like, on a regular basis, so that people can connect with those emotions? One of the realities is, unless somebody's dealing with something, that is on that lower tier sort of emotions, which, by the way, for me, I would say are guilt, shame, apathy, anger, frustration, fear, anxiety. Some of these are more, subsets of different emotions, but that's something in that range. Then A, they don't need a transformation if they're not having those feelings. But B, the reality is if they aren't sharing those things with you and you're trying to help them out, it means they don't feel safe enough to share them. It's not because they don't have them typically. And so we need to create a space and cultivate a space for them to do that by practicing non-judgment and asking open-ended questions, just to get the truth out there and to get them flowing a little bit and in that state where they're open enough to share. And then what I like to do, once we have like an assessment of where they're at, I like to ask consequence-based questions that drive that emotion deeper. And I'm gonna drive it to both polarities, right? So the first polarity is what I call hell, and the second polarity is heaven. Essentially, it's like a pain-pleasure, sandwich that we're going to create here. And so the pain part of the sandwich is, hey, what's the consequence if this continues to be a problem in your life, right? What are some other, what else? What are some of the other consequences? What's the consequence of that? What's the consequence of that? And I want to go 2, 3, 4, 5 layers deep as possible. Who else is affected by that? How would that feel on a regular basis? So we're really amping up their association in real time on this call to the pain. And then I'm going to flip the coin. Hey, thanks for going there with me. On the flip side, if you do solve this problem, what's that going to feel like? Paint a picture for me. A year from now, where are you going to be? What's that going to look like? What's that going to feel like? What's it going to look like 5 years from now? What about 10 years from now? What about, when you're on your rocking chair, how's it going to feel knowing that you solved this problem in 2022 and you got a hold of it, and the rest of your whole life you had this problem conquered? How's that going to feel? And they're like, it's going to feel awesome, it's going to feel great. And all of a sudden we're starting to create that pain pleasure sandwich, and now they're really motivated, they're really inspired to take action because the emotion's there. Otherwise, it's like they know what they should do. Everyone knows what they should do, right? We could talk to anybody in the whole world. They know what they should do, probably. But why aren't they doing it? And it's mostly because they're not associated to the pain that they're actually in currently, and then the pleasure they could experience if they actually did solve the problem. Mike, what say you?